It is day number 23 of Vlogmas and it's time to talk about some resolutions that I have for 2023. Hi everyone, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is a Vlogmas video. I am posting a new video every day in December up to and including Christmas Day. We are so close to the end. We're doing a mixture of bookish and theatrical content, and today's is kind of a bit of both actually. Today's going to be my resolutions video. So I did this last year, and obviously we're coming up to the end of the year where people normally make New Year's resolutions. I'm not a massive New Year's resolutions person, but I like to use this video to kind of discuss how things have been going for the last year and just the general idea for plans going forward. I'm not going to hold myself to this too much. Like, I'm not going to give myself specific things of like, you will do this many videos or this many read this many books and all that type of stuff. It's just like a general vibe check basically. So what we're going to do first is look at the resolutions that I made last year. I'm not going to do like a screen share thing here because I don't want to like react to the entire video, but I have watched last year's video and made a list of what my resolutions were, and I'll just tell you kind of how I'm getting on with those before I talk about some that I have for next year instead. So the first one that I had down was to make reading a priority. So this kind of stemmed from the fact that obviously the pandemic was at a very different stage last year than it has been sort of going forward into this year. And what it is that for the last couple of years I have read the most amount of books that I've ever read in a single year at any point in my life, and I wanted to make sure that I still kept reading a priority even though I knew that I was going to have more stuff going on sort of separate from that this year, because obviously with things opened up more and more, this year has been a lot more like normal, although I know it's still not back to normal. I know we're still not like completely out of everything. And basically what I wanted to do is make sure that I was still prioritising reading because it was something that I found that I actually really enjoyed. Now at the point of filming this, we've got just under 2 weeks left of the year, and I have read one less book than I read in the entire year last year. So I'm looking to be beating that number this year. So I think we can safely say that I have made reading a priority. And what's good about that is I've definitely also been doing a lot more other things this year. Like, I've seen a lot of shows at the theatre this year, we all know that, but also I've been like spending more time on this channel as well and just kind of socialising more in general this year. So there's been other things that have been kind of competing for my attention, but I still managed to read. So I think I did well with this one. I then had a resolution that was basically just sprints, like do reading sprints. I mentioned potentially hosting some of my own a bit more, but I did say that I was a bit nervous of like asking other people to join them. So I also kind of said that I just wanted to put myself out there a bit more of joining other people's. I won't lie, this video last year was basically me just saying like, if you would like me to join them, I am here, hi. Did work though, because now there is never a week that I'm not on sprints. It definitely helps that 2 of my closest friends run sprints every single week. We have Lisa on a Tuesday and we have Becca on a Sunday. I'm usually on at least one of those each week. Lisa just has a group of us at this point that she puts on the thumbnail without even checking we can be there. She just assumes, and then if you tell her you can't be there, she takes you off afterwards. It's sort of like you have to tell her you're not going to be there rather than her asking you to be there. It's nice. It's like a set thing in my diary now every Tuesday to be on Lisa's sprints, and I'm on Becca's on a Sunday pretty much whenever I can be as well. So I definitely managed to do this year. I've also hosted more of my own. It tends to be during readathons. So I did them for the month of Marvelathon, which was back in June, and then I did them for my own readathon in November, which was West End Reads, and I feel like I've got more confident with that. I'm never going to be a person that does my own sprints every single week because it becomes too much for me after a while, but I do like hosting them every now and then, especially when there is something sort of to theme it around, and I do feel more confident asking other people to be on them now, just partly just because I know that I've got like this close friend group anyway and I can always ask them, and at least one of them will tend to join me, so we're okay. I then had a couple of resolutions that were more about the types of books that we're reading. So I wanted to read more adult fantasy and to read more middle grade. I've definitely done one of those. I've definitely read more adult fantasy in general. I'm moving more and more towards adult, and the fantasy books I'm picking up tend to be more adult fantasy, and I can see that continuing in the future because I am less and less interested in YA fantasies but more and more interested in adult fantasies. So not much else to say about that one really. Middle grade I think I have read more of, and I have found some middle grade that I really like, but also I think I have sort of just accepted that I'm not a massive middle grade reader. There are some things that I'm interested in, but I'm not going to kind of force myself to try and find a middle grade that I really like. If I'm interested in it, I will pick it up, but I'm not going to prioritise something just because it's in this age range that I don't normally read, because I think there is a reason that I personally don't read these that often. I then said that I wanted to be more selective in what I was buying. So basically this meant less just going into stores and picking something up just because I saw it and it looked interesting, and kind of trying to look into what I buy more, which I think I have been in some ways. Like, I mean, I don't actually call into bookshops quite as much anymore, because in the second half of the year I've actually changed jobs and I no longer sort of pass a bookshop on my way home. I don't have like a wait for a bus like I used to, where I would waste time going into Waterstones. So I don't buy as much on sort of like the buy one get one half price tables and things like that. I do want to rethink my sort of subscription box books, because I don't think I've actually read a single book from my Fairy Loot YA subscription this year. And that is not good. Like, I really just need to cancel it. I know I do. I've switched to book only because I knew that I wasn't really using the items, but I think at this point I just need to cancel the subscription. Also, it's not like I'm missing out on the special editions, because I am reading books from the Fairy Loot adult subscription, so I will be keeping that one. I think I do just need to go for it and cancel the Fairy Loot YA though, and then that'll make me feel better about the books that are coming in every month. Because the Lumacrate, Afterlight and the Fairy Loot adult ones, I am reading like at least half of all of those, so I don't feel bad about those ones. But YA Fairy Loot I definitely do. We then had a resolution of catching up with my NetGalley arcs. This one hasn't really worked. I've read some. I've also have caught up, or mostly caught up. I think I need to go through again, because I've read a few in the last like month and I need to do the reviews of them. But I will say I think I've got better at what I'm requesting. What happened before is I kind of just got excited at the idea of NetGalley and requested anything and everything, and like anything that vaguely interested me. And there are still some books set on there that I've now realised I have no interest in. I am getting better at only requesting things I have a genuine interest in, and the ones that I get approved for that I am like really excited for, I will read straight away. Like, I read Babel straight away this year, I read The Dead Romantic straight away this year, I read Dowry of Blood straight away this year. Like if it's a book that I'm genuinely interested in, I will get that arc, I will read it, I will review it, I will do exactly what I need to do. And so what I need to do now is just kind of get through that backlist of the ones that I wasn't as intrigued by, so that my ratio goes up a little bit more, and then continue with the way that I'm requesting now, which is being more selective. And then the next two resolutions kind of go hand in hand, because the first one was about bookish friends, and kind of the fact that part of the reason I made this channel was that I wanted to make more friends within this community. I'd sort of lurked in the comments for a while and I wanted to actually like make friends and speak to people. And then the other thing that I said alongside that was that I had sort of started making this group of friends, and I was very much looking forward to meeting some of them in person, because we had Yalk coming up in the middle of the year. When I made this video last year, I already had Yalk booked, and I think the biggest takeaway I've got from this year in terms of the channel is the group of friends that I've made on here. I'm gonna get all sappy for a minute, I'm very, very sorry, but basically the group of friends that I've made like through this channel and through this community in general is like one of my favourite things. Like, honestly, I can't imagine like going through a day without talking to the people that I met through doing this. Like they are always on the end of a WhatsApp message. I'm constantly on live shows and sprints and things with each other. We've met up quite a lot in person this year actually, because the resolution I made was specifically about Yalk, but actually the first time I met up with anyone in person was back in March, and that was when I went to a book event. It was a V. Schwab event, and I went with Becca and Meg. Then I had a bigger meetup at Yalk. I met up with Becca a couple of extra times as well, because we went to see Heathers, and then we went to Musical Con together. We had a birthday meetup in November when there was 6 of us there. We were just missing Smash, but she will be there in March for Becca's birthday. I actually had a meetup with Smash earlier on in the year when I went to the Aura Kwong signing with her and Emma. And then obviously there's been many meetups with Meg this year. I'm very happy that I have a friend to go to the theatre with now, because as someone who's spent like a lot of my time either going by myself or going with my mum, it's very nice to have someone else that I can just obsess about theatre with. Me and Meg actually have a holiday booked next year where we're going to go to New York and see things on Broadway. Like, when I said this resolution last year about just generally wanting to meet up with friends, I sort of had one event in mind. I don't think I could have imagined quite how much I'd be meeting up with people throughout the year, and I'm very much not mad about it. So that is the resolutions from last year. That ended up being a longer section of this video than I thought it'd be. I feel like I'm probably going to cut it down a fair amount though. So let's quickly talk about some resolutions that I have for 2023. So some of these are actually based on the ones that I've already told you about. So the first one is still to prioritise reading, but I do want to put less pressure on myself. I know I do a TBR game every month, and I have no plans on stopping that, because I really enjoy those videos. It's some of my favourite ones to do every month. And luckily my game isn't too high pressure. It's a lot more on the fun side. There are punishments if I don't finish my TBR, but even the punishments, like, I made them fairly easy because I want it to be fun. So that's not really where the pressure lies. I think the pressure lies within myself, where I'm just sort of stressing every month if I feel like I'm not reading as much as I should be, and I kind of just want to like take a step back and be like, no, you can have like a bit of time off. You don't need to beat the amount of books that you read last year. So I still want to prioritize reading, but also I know that there is like a lot of other stuff that I want to do. So I just want to kind of tell myself that it's okay if you're not doing quite as much as you have done this year. Next resolution I have is all to do with read-alongs and readathons. So this is basically the end of my second year on this channel. Like, my channel turns 2 in March, and this second year has really been where I've started to get more involved with that side of BookTube. So the first part of that was me being a team captain for Marvelathon earlier on this year. I then obviously created my own readathon with West End Reads, and then I am going to be starting a read-along in January with Christopher-along. And I don't particularly want to take on too much more than that at the minute, but I do kind of want to keep doing things within that area. So obviously Christopher-along is still new, so I kind of want to see how that goes anyway. I might end up starting another read-along after if I'm enjoying that one, because there are other book series that I would like to start a read-along for, but we're going to stick with that one at the minute. In terms of readathons, Lisa's already announced that she's going to be doing Marvelathon round 2, so there will be stuff to do with that, and I'm very excited about that because that is going to be bigger and better this year. You are not prepared for what's coming with it, but also I would like to spend a bit more time with my own readathon and make that one bigger and better as well. So I do have plans in mind for West End Reads at the end of the year. It's going to be November again, I can say that, and it's going to be fun. And that's kind of what this resolution is just I want to make that readathon in particular bigger and better this year. I did still want to put in a goal for like what I'm actually going to read in the next year. So last year obviously I wanted to focus on particular genres and age ranges. This year I just want to get through my book box backlist. I have quite a lot that are piling up and I would like to prioritise those. Not much else to say, I just want to get through quite a lot of those or unhaul them. I just want to get rid of them in some way. Speaking of, actually, my next resolution that I have written down is unhaul. I would like to do quite a big unhaul and just really think about what I want to keep on my shelves, because I think there's a lot of stuff that I'm holding on to because I'm a little bit of a hoarder, and there's plenty of books that I got a while ago and I don't think I really have any interest in reading anymore. So I want to be quite ruthless and just do a massive unhaul, and that is a plan for January actually, so fingers crossed I do that. I then do have a resolution written down that is just bookish friends again. I, like I said, have already been sappy and sentimental about how much I love my friends I have in this community, and I just want to keep doing as much stuff with them as possible. We already have plans for next year, both in terms of things like online and things offline in real life as well. And yeah, basically that's just, like I said, my favourite thing that's come out of doing this channel. So I just want to keep making all the plans with all of my friends. And then the next couple of resolutions are more kind of channel wise ones. So in general, obviously I would like to continue growing my channel. Like, I'm not a person who has like a specific number in mind. I mean, obviously if you look at what my subscriber number is at the minute, you can kind of see what the next milestone would be, but I don't have like a set thing of like, oh, I want to hit 1k by this point. Like, that's just not how my brain works. I will be happy when I get to it, and I will be happy if this channel just kind of keeps steadily growing as it has been. In terms of my channel though, I do want to do a tiny bit of a content shift, which could potentially stop growth on my channel, because I don't know how many people are actually going to want to watch this, because I've been kind of doing a little bit of this month, and in some ways I feel like it's worked and in some ways I feel like it hasn't, because I've definitely seen the numbers go down on certain videos and up on other ones, and the ones that the numbers are lower on are the ones that I kind of want to do more of in the future. Now, I am also aware that it is Vlogmas and I'm putting out a video every single day, and people may not have time to watch every single video, so they may prioritise the ones that they are more interested in. So it could be that looking at the numbers isn't even a great thing to do anyway. And also, I don't really care about the numbers, as I have already said. Basically, I just want to talk about things on this channel that I really love, and as we all know, as I've said many times on here already, as I've said at the beginning of this video, I'm doing a mixture of bookish and theatrical content because theatre is my other sort of main love, separate to books. Sort of prior to Vlogmas this year, every video I did that had a theatrical theme to it also had bookish content in it. And what I say I've sort of trialled this month is doing videos that are exclusively about theatre. So I did like my top 10 shows of all time, I did shows that I wish I could have seen this year, I've done shows that I'm anticipating coming out next year, and I've had a really good time filming all of those. And going forward, I would like to do more of like just theatre related stuff. So basically my plan, although I'm not gonna like hold myself to like a certain number of videos each week, but my plan is to still do your regular vlog and bookish video, and then maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, I'm not entirely sure yet with this, but every so often I will do sort of an extra video each week that is theatre based. So it could be that I've been to see a show and I want to do like an in-depth review of it. It could be that there is some like It could be that there's some sort of theatrical news that I want to talk about. It could be that I do another video that is shows upcoming that I'm looking forward to. I might do sort of a wrap up of the theatre I've been to that month rather than doing like a particular show review. Basically, there are lots of different things that I could do that are more specifically to do with theatre, but I do want to do videos that are just about that rather than doing sort of entirely bookish content, because if I'm being honest, I run out of ideas sometimes of the bookish stuff, so why not give myself another lot of options to talk about? And also I feel like it comes across quite a lot whenever I talk about theatre on here. It's something that I really enjoy talking about, so why not do things that I really enjoy, even if it does mean that the numbers aren't quite as high as they are when I do bookish stuff. I don't really care. So that is pretty much everything. I kind of recapped my year based on the resolutions I made last year and set myself a few goals for next year as well, or kind of just giving you a general idea of what the plans are for next year. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know if you have any goals or resolutions for next year, and I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.